Hey, everything goes. Let's go. Everything goes when the homies hate your personal takes. Your core of a tank type of take it be hurting your rank. Heated debates about who's better between the birds or the saints. Or post games of which digs is really worse than the paint. And John, Ian, and Dan on the pod, future icons. Ian screaming go birds and Dan trying to fight John. A Rockets fan with the Saints from Philly with a python. Cross me and the boy step over him like he Tyron. Eagle season end with a bowl and nobody sober. Let the Saints be the chance and Dan on bourbon and Nola. Everything goes. Place your bets with us, take the over. Philly niggas wanna see how red that we gon' make October. At game time is game time. Need your picks and can clutch it. Gave my ticket to John, brought me back with a bucket. CP3 on the assistant, Kawhi be getting his touches. But I'm watching Bron cooking my ticket and I'm like fuck it. Let Ian tell it. He gon' say that Bron is the GOAT. Coming back from 3-1 and barely had him a coach. MJ don't got these records so we laughing the most. And I watched it with my own eyes so now I'm back in the host. I get my locks from Dan and lock it in on fantasy picks. Number one in every league, they can't stand me with this. I'm fleecing the league with every trade, I dismantle it quick. Wave a wire, watching the pod to help me handle the shit. Legendary status, keep watching, we gon' reach that. But reach too far, my rocket shooting, and I gotta teach that. Fill the gap with a hit stick. Think I don't see that Hall of Fame vision switching from beat dog to the T-Mac. On your wrist, John Dane time, and everything froze. Errol Spence washed up then, and everyone knows you can't see. I see 3 when comparing to those, cause every podcast can't handle when everything goes.
Classic John. John.
You already know. Welcome back to Everything Goes. Today I'm in the studio with my man John.
Yo, we not in the real stew. We improvising today, but
locked in. Got my man E.
So with y'all, we back for another episode. Shout out to the guys.
First and foremost, we would like to thank everybody that's tapped in and everybody that will tap in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Your support is much appreciated. Before we jump into our games and topics for today, we got something a little different for you guys. I want to open up with our new segment. Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull it up for y'all. I want to open up with our new segment, Before the Bell, in which we will tell you everything you need to know to stay updated in the boxing world. The first thing going on that I want to talk to you guys about today, Brian Norman Jr. has informed Brian Norman Sr. that he will no longer be his head trainer. Me and my man, some Cigar Talk, the podcast. Make sure y'all go check it out on YouTube. He got a great channel over there. But yeah, Senior also expressed that he wouldn't be a part of his training corps at all, that he would not take a backseat to anybody. He expressed that via Mill City. That's also another channel on YouTube. And Brian Norman Jr. has already been seen spotted training with Derek James, the former trainer of the year, Errol Spence Jr., former trainer. So it's a lot to unpack there, but we're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rolling because there's just too much going on in the boxing world. The next thing that was just announced a few days ago, we got Marios Barrios versus Ryan Garcia. That's set for February 21st, and that will be Ryan's, if he do win, that will be his first title, his first world title. The way people talk about him, you would think he already won a couple, but that's not true at all. So if you do like Ryan and you are a Ryan fan, make sure you tap into that February 21st. That's going to be a big fight. And then you also got David Pacheco and Hamza Shiraz. They're fighting for the WBO title. That fight will now move to a purse bid in a few days, January 19th. Be on the lookout for that. That's a big fight in the 168 division. And then also I want to end with, well, before I end with this last one, do y'all have anything to say about what I just talked about?
No, I just heard about the Shiraz guy, and I heard he legit. So I'm
from the Belinga fight. That was his coming out party to the American public. But then he also had another fight with Amber Williams that was also a good fight that he also put on. So yeah, it's a lot to unpack there, but definitely look forward to him at 168. That's definitely going to be a big fight. David Pacheco is also another rising prospect in the 168 division. So it's new guys that's trying to find out who's on top of that division with Crawford retiring and relinquishing all the belts. So yeah, moving on to the last thing I want to talk about. Now I know it's a lot of people in here from Philly that like Boots, and so I just want to give y'all an update on the Virgil and Boots situation, the negotiation. So basically, a few days ago, Oscar De La Hoya, who was Virgil Ortiz promoter, did come out and say that they're moving on. But right after that, an interview came out with Robert Garcia, who is Virgil Ortiz trainer. He said that he don't believe that to be the case right now. He said that he's ready. He said that Virgil is ready. He said that Virgil asked for a proper amount. He said he feels as though Boots also asked for a proper amount because he know they worth. And he also said like he thought that something was going to get done. He said if something doesn't get done, then it's on the promoters. Now moving on to Eddie Hearns, who is Jerron Booth's Ennis promoter. He said that he also thought they had a deal done already in which they would get 50-50. 50% would go to Virgil, 50% would go to Boots. But come fight night, the winner would get 10% more, meaning the winner of the fight would take home 55%, the loser would take home 45%. Now, from what I'm hearing from those two guys, it sounds like once again it's Oscar De La Hoya that's trying to stop a big fight. Like I don't get it. If you believe in Virgil, why not let them fight? What's
Class
up?
act and sabotage. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
And he was popping it in the ring in public on the camera for everybody to see. Like, we want whatever fight makes the most sense, and whatever everybody else want to see. Boots is the fight that makes sense, and we coming for everybody. So I think
Mm-hmm.
how you didn't go tuck your tail, and you're not even the one getting in the ring. Like,
Exactly. Don't make no
nasty
sense.
work.
So yeah. Also, wait. One last thing before we get out of here, I do want to mention Raymond Moritaya versus Andy Cruz. That fight is coming up. They're fighting for the IBF title at 135. That's 1 week away, January 24th. Make sure y'all tap into that. So now moving on to the actual breaking news that we got for today. We gotta start. Hold on, let me put that up for y'all too, though. The real breaking news. Hold on.
the real breaking news.
Alright. We got some breaking news for y'all today. Starting in the NFL world, we got Mike Tomlin stepping down after 19 seasons of being the Steelers head coach. How y'all feel about that one?
I'm happy. I'm happy. I think it was time for a change on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I think that his approach is not necessarily burnt out, but it wasn't conducive for what Pittsburgh needed, moving forward. And I feel like it was at a point where his services weren't appreciated anymore. And you could argue that what is there to appreciate because we're not winning nothing substantial. We just not losing at extreme measurements.
Mm-hmm.
But I think on both sides it was a change needed, and I think that he can go elsewhere. Whether that is in a head coach position, whether he want to take a back seat and just go defensive coordinator, or it's been rumors and sparks saying that he's going to take the year off from coaching, and that's okay as well if that's what he decides to do. Um, so I think that it was a positive thing, and I also like how the Steelers carried it, allowing him to step down and not making it a John like, he's fired and we got him out of here. Like the Ravens been clowning John Harbaugh all week, and I think that's kind of crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Honestly.
happy how they carried it for Mike.
So I mean, I agree with everything you just said. Like I do think it was time for them to part ways. I did mention it a few times during the season that I think it was time for them to part ways. So I'm not mad, and I do love the way that it happened. They allowed him to step down because I do think whether he stepped down or not, they did want this to be his final season. So they probably had that conversation with him because we do know the Steelers, the way that they run that head coach spot, they care about head coach heavily, and they don't tend to replace the head coach. Like every 20 years, they had what 3 head coaches in the last almost 60 years. So
Yeah,
we know that they didn't really want to fire that man and publicly embarrass him. So them allowing him to step down, I do love that. And like Ian just pointed out, him taking a year off and going in, I guess going into TV or maybe just taking a break from football in general. You just been a head coach for 19 seasons, so I'm not mad at it at all. How about you, John?
I agree. The biggest part for me is and we'll get to some of these other coaches too, but the fact they let him do it on his own terms. So I second everything
Mm-hmm.
that y'all said, and I think it's important um when you have a coach and a guy that's been in your locker room for damn it, a dub like 2 decades at this point.
Mm-hmm.
being able to show face and save face and show the players and show the community that it doesn't always have to be a falling out like with the Ravens. Like he's like with John Harbaugh still have had a job. He told one more week. Yeah, if Tyler Luke made the kick, so
That
that's
was crazy.
that's nutty, and I feel like that's definitely the wrong way to go. But sometimes you can't be complacent with the same old thing over and over again. I think a lot of
Mhm.
teams get into that, and these two teams, the Ravens and the Steelers, are both examples of being complacent with the same thing over and over again. It gets to the point where what you're doing is not working, and you don't want to wait. The last time the Ravens won a Super Bowl was over a decade ago, and the same thing for the Steelers. Like you don't want to keep doing running it back, running it back, running it back, running it back, and you're not seeing the results that you want, and just being stubborn and keeping who you think is the answer around when it's really not. So shout out to them, and I hope but he'll get another job. If he want to coach, he'll obviously get another job. So that's not really nothing. Especially because this year, it's mad coaching positions, and a lot of coaches got fired. It's over like
Mhm.
7, 8 teams that need coaches. So shout out to Mike, man. He had a good run.
And it'll probably be more. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
honestly, yeah. So moving on to some more big news out of Philly. Kevin Patullo has been demoted from being,
Yeah,
from being the
yeah,
Eagles OC a few days ago. How y'all
yeah.
feel about
Yeah.
Tripping.
I
He
guess
might
I'll
as well
start
be
with you.
fired.
Hey,
All I care.
what you say?
I say he might as well be fired. All I care. He not in the building. If he not the OC, he don't matter. I'm cool. I'm cool. Look,
Mm-hmm.
just put a check in his pocket. We been said it was time for him to go. They took too long after the loss to do it. You
Mm-hmm.
hear sparks and rumors around the league about how he felt like it wasn't his fault, and we don't know the inner workings of what's in the locker room and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's certain stuff that we just watched in this last playoff game that's inexcusable. And it
Definitely.
don't matter if like yeah, we got other things that we gotta fix. AJ dropping passes,
Mm-hmm.
Jalen moving out the pocket too fast, so he cutting off a side of the field. People talking about Saquon and ability to see holes, and I think that in that game he actually ran the ball pretty well, but he was getting mass yardage and spurts, and so But aside from all of that, it was still evident that he is not an advanced play caller. He is far from an advanced play caller, and I think the play calling was detrimental to our season. And
Mm-hmm.
with great power comes great responsibility, and he wasn't it. So we got him out of here, and hopefully we go do the right thing and get somebody established, somebody experienced. If it's not
Definitely.
Mike McDaniel, I'll take Dayball, but we gonna see what happens.
Gotcha. What about you, John? How you feel about it?
Uh, I feel ecstatic when he got fired on Tuesday. I worked from 9 to 8 on Tuesday. I think they announced it like 11. I was teeth and palms from 11 to by the time I went to bed that night. Like he's a bro. He's horrible. Like and I keep it short. Like get his dumb ass up out of here, bro. Only thing I gotta say, an example. Just look at the last play of our season, man. That's all you got. 4 verts with the season on line with 4 and 4 and 10. That's all I gotta say. That sums his last play call as a play caller sums up why he got fired. So on to the next. Hopefully, well, we haven't interviewed McDaniel or Dayball yet, to my knowledge, but hopefully they don't make a mistake and hire somebody that has because we interviewed
Or
Stefanski.
Stefanski.
Yeah, like please
No,
don't make a mistake, but
y'all do
I'm
want Stefanski.
What we wants the fantasy for?
No, I'm wishing that on y'all. Y'all want Stefanski?
Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They said we interviewed Stefanski, Cliff Kingsbury, and I forgot the third person. Out of those 3 people, Cliff Kingsbury is not too bad, but we need to open it up more, get more people in the building for interviews, people that we actually need to maximize the talent that we have on our team. So
I mean, yeah, I hear what John saying. Cliff Kingsbury isn't bad. I mean, unless if y'all want a 1 year rental, because that's all he good for. He gonna come in, he gonna turn your program around for 1 year, and then year two, every defense know his system, and then it be the end of that.
that's all we getting anyway. All we get is 1 year rentals. Gary OC we
Y'all
had
want
the
to keep
past.
y'all want to keep doing that to Jalen, or y'all want to get somebody that's gonna stay there like long term? Because I hear y'all saying Mike McDaniel's, I hear y'all saying Brian Dayball, I hear y'all saying now Cliff Kingsbury. That's my only issue. All those guys would 9 times out of 10 be 1 year rentals. They'll be, if not getting a head coaching job this year, they'll be in line to get one next year. Do y'all want to keep doing this to Jalen every single year?
You
Y'all,
see,
it's not a big deal, but it really is.
no, I think it is a big deal. I think it matters. But I also think that all of those guys right now, outside of Kingsbury, because you're talking about defensive coordinators figuring out his system and him
Mm-hmm.
not being able to produce. But with Dayball and Mike McDaniels, they see all these other coaching positions available right now, and there's good jobs out there right now. Good jobs with good rosters and good teams around them. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they were to defer those jobs to come and coach our team right now with the offense and the guys that we got on the team right now, whether we keep AJ or not, that's enough that you can stay 2 to 3 years at least if we can get some, get some success flowing out of the offense. Now, it'd be different if there was no head coaching jobs available or, they slowly went away to undeserving candidates and we got what was left and that was the Dayball or Mike McDaniel. Then I expect it to be a 1 year rental. And while that's not preferred, I'll take a 1 year rental or something good like a Kellen Moore season than a situation like this or Brian Johnson where we waiting for something to get better and it never does kind of thing. Like you kind of got to pick your battles, and if we got to take it on a year to year basis, and that's what it is, then that's what it's going to have to be. And good luck to Jalen. You know what I mean?
And I'll add to that. I also think like at this point, Jalen has proven to be a quarterback that is not as phased as other quarterbacks by the year to year rollover. Like I think pretty sure every year that he's been in the league, he's had a new play caller, and we as Phillies fans can see his up and downs and his peaks and his lows within those play callers. But it's never really been a moment where we looked at Jalen Hurts and was like, "Yo, you look like shit." Honestly, like he's had moments, but he's proven that he can take that on the chin, and just roll with new play callers. And I also believe, kind of second what Ian said, not to say people be jumping shit, but if we get somebody like I think it's just like a Ben Johnson. Like Ben Johnson overly stayed in Detroit. Like all we need, like granted, most of our people they come in, they do a good job, they get head coaching jobs, but we really just need somebody keep it a being like that'll stick around 2 3 years and not just because we have success is ready to skate and take a head coaching job. Like I think that's somebody we would be able to find somebody that would do that. I don't know who that would be, but I believe, if you go into a situation and let's say, next year we hire somebody, we go to the
Mm-hmm.
conference shit, but we end up losing. That's plausible to run it back. Like not just skate after the first season because you want to see what that success do. And there's some coaches out there that's like that. So I think it's detrimental to Jalen Hurts as a progression as a player, but I think I think he'll be all right. And it's like so at the same time you got to do what you got to do, and just bringing people in that can maximize them on their 1 year rental. Not motherfuckers like Kevin Patullo. You seen off the rip, beginning of the season, he didn't want Kevin Patullo. Like you already knew what time it was gonna be from the first press conference when they was asking everybody about Kevin Patullo. You already know it's gonna be a L. So
Gotcha. I mean, that's just my only question to y'all, and I feel like that is one thing negative. Like just because we've seen him go through it and not be phased, doesn't mean he should have to continue to deal with that. Like it's
I
not,
agree.
yeah, it's not fair to him. It's not fair to the Eagles' offense as a whole, because they go as he go. Essentially, he's still the quarterback. So the receivers they feeding off of how he goes when he had Kellen Moore, and then I forget who y'all had in 23 when he had his two
And
best seasons, and AJ had his two best years. It was because that y'all had good play callers, and what was there complaining?
I also think the issue too a little bit is, you know, and this comes down to our head coach a little bit. We don't have the ability, at least I don't think. Maybe Ian will disagree, but I don't think we have the ability to elevate a play caller in house because that's usually where you can get somebody to stick around for a long time when you elevate them in house. You don't know they're not known too well. Maybe they do a good job 2 3 years. They get noticed. They get head coaching calls. We don't really have the ability to do that in house because anybody that's coming up at this point will be under Nick Sirianni tree, and he's not a good play caller. That's proven to be a fact. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where we are at a bit of a disadvantage too when it comes to continuity and year over year with coaches because we have to bring somebody in who might be known a little bit and just need a year to show what they got and get a head coaching job versus being able to do in house because in house is what we just saw this past year. That's what you're gonna get most of the time with people that's in house right now because they coming up through Nick, who is not a good play caller. So that's where I think that's also the part of the problem that we have too with that.
Gotcha. So I'm not
Oh,
mad at that. But so moving on to some more big news in the NFL, we was just talking about his old rival coach, but now moving on to John Harbaugh, who is now set to become the next Giants head coach. How y'all feel about this? John Harbaugh and the Big Apple.
I feel neutral because I'm an Eagles fan, but I mean objectively, I would say I think it's a good hire. Like I believe, granted, contrary to what the Giants' record is, and this could go hit or miss, but contrary to what their record is, that's one, in my opinion, that's one of the better jobs when you look around the NFL and people that got fired, because you look at their offensive playmakers. You just drafted a quarterback this past year.
Mm,
Any coach that they would have got knows that, so they look at Jackson Dart as this could be my guy.
exactly.
They just drafted a quarterback last year in Jackson Dart, who's proven to be a playmaker, both on the ground and through the air. You have, like I said, this comes with an asterisk, but you have two very dynamic playmakers in Cam Scatterbo and Malik Neighbors,
Mm,
who I know are coming off torn ACL, so that's why I said it's an asterisk. But if they come back, which now at this point, like people tear their ACL, they carry their Achilles and come back better, almost better now because of new technology and science that we got. But they come
mm,
back, you have two excellent dynamic playmakers on offense, and then you can look to build around that. The offensive line is mid. That'll take some work. But then you look at the defensive side of the ball too. Defensive side of the ball, they have the names and the talent, but not the system to make those people successful. And I think so. Coach like John Harbaugh coming into that team and that defense, being able to give them an identity, a scheme, and the work that it takes to be a top end level, a team on both sides of the ball is needed for them because the foundation is pretty much there. Like I said, they record didn't show it, but they have the pieces and the talent to be a solid team. So I like the hire. I think it's a good job for both parties.
Yeah, I agree. Um, Obviously, as an Eagles fan, it's not a hire that I'm ecstatic about. I wanted them to go hire Kevin Patullo. Um, but John Harbaugh got a job now. Like John said, I think that like he's proven from teams before, especially Ravens, how they won their first Super Bowl. Under John Harbaugh, the way that they were playing football was defense first, even still. You look at who he had on offense, like none of those guys were better than who he has now. Well, maybe Zay Flowers because they had Anquan Bolden, but even that, like you got Lamar Jackson, that's better than Joe Flacco. You got Ray Rice playing running back. Now you got Derrick Henry, but where was the identity on the defensive side of the ball? And you could argue that as a unit, that's where the Giants excel right now, like John said. And then again on offense, you got pieces to build around. They're young pieces, and they're young enough that even if they don't come back with that same burst or that same, whatever, we can move on from them. They're not expensive yet. So I think that him being the coach that can stay around for a while and be consistent, he's set up for success. And I just hope that it ain't at the cost of us. But I think it's a good hire, and it'll be up in New York for years to come.
got you. So the way I feel about it, it's a great hire for the Giants, and it's terrible news for the NFC. Not just the NFC East. I just think the NFC as a whole, because I really do think he got the ability to be able to turn this Giants team around, like John and Ian just pointed out. They defense is they have the ability to be elite on defense. They front four can really get after the quarterback, and then they have some nice guys in the secondary. Obviously, the defense is led by Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, and they're going to get after your quarterback. And then on the offensive end, you got a young quarterback at Jackson Dart who will be going into his second year. Who obviously he's not Lamar Jackson. We know this, but coming into the NFL, we seen that Lamar was more so run. I'm a run first, throw second, and that's kind of how Jackson Dart has been this year. He's made some plays in the air and also on the ground. So let's see what Harbaugh is able to do with Jackson Dart on the offensive end, as well as you still got Cam Scatterbull in the backfield. Hopefully he come back from his injury. He's still the same. You still got Malik Neighbors on the outside at wide receiver who's already shown that he's a dominant, legit number one wide receiver in the league.
And
So
1K Wandell.
exactly who been balling since he took down. So like it's they got the talent they needed to coach, and he's the guy for the job. I believe so. So I think it's just gonna be bad news because that's another team that's just gonna be legit in the NFC every single year that we don't need.
The NFC East, because if you look at it right now, the Cowboys the Cowboys was shook because they didn't have nobody to play defense. They made the
Hmm.
trade. They started to get a little bit more stops, and then Dak turned he turned it up, and they almost was in playoff contention if the NFC wasn't so popping this year. The Commanders' record only sucked because JD was hurt all year with a
Weird.
concussion and a hamstring injury, so he was missing games. He missed more games than he played this year. And then you got the Giants who they best playmaker went out week 2 or week 3. Then they second best playmaker went out week 7, week 8. And they out there with a rookie quarterback who, like you said, in terms of play style is similar to Lamar Jackson. But I think even in year one and just in terms of throwing the football
Hmm.
and standing inside the pocket when he does do that, I think he's shown more upside as a thrower of the football than Lamar did as a rookie.
No, that's
Because
Um,
fact.
even rookie, we was looking at Lamar like he can't make some of these passes or he can't make some of these reads. He's reading the pill too late. Like Jackson Dart made some impressive throws this year. He just still got that crash out quarterback. I'm gonna go get it. However, I need to go get it mindset, and he don't realize yet that you are in the NFL with 250-pound killers that's trying to take your head off. You got to
yeah.
protect yourself and stay on the field. So I think that the Giants are definitely scary or can have potential to be scary, but our whole division is we about to be back on that where it's three teams in the NFC East in the playoff race because we got the talent and now we have I think the play callers and well we got to figure out our play caller, but we got the talent. Everybody else play callers to be in contention for years to come.
Hmm. Gotcha. I agree with everything you just said 100%. But so we're going to move on to some more breaking news in the NBA, starting with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was seen visibly upset and crying during the timeout after being booed at home during the game and also while at the free throw line during the blowout loss to Minnesota. How y'all feel about this one? Y'all think he out of there?
I,
Me frying me.
yeah,
Yo.
I'm not even a Giannis fan, but I feel for him though.
Hmm.
I hope he get out of there and part of the reason why I feel for him is because he kind of made it clear that he was ready to go before the season started. Uh,
Hmm.
and it was a back and forth thing, and then he ended up suiting up because he a hooper at the end of the day, and like he don't want to be there, but he not politicking. He not sitting out. He's no Kawhi. He's no he's not gonna force his way out. He's not on the heart and divas. He gonna go play basketball, do his job, but he don't want to be there.
Hmm.
And so for him to show that he didn't want to be there, but still put on his jersey and try to put on his cape, day in, night out, and for y'all not to receive that. And I also feel like he one of those like you got some players that are content with losing and
Hmm.
just want to be around, and I feel like he's never that guy. He's never okay with that. You got guys that like Dame who want to win so bad but they just want help from the organization. I feel like Giannis is in that same boat where it's like I want to win in Milwaukee, but I did it already, and y'all not helping me, and I don't like how y'all treating me. So I got to get out of here. And now your fans who I've poured, like what Joel was popping in for us a couple years ago when he re-signed the contract. I've done so much for the city and this and that, blah blah. I don't know what more you want from me. He was talking BS. That's Giannis' lived experience. So I understand. You know what I mean, like, yeah, you're a grown man at work playing basketball, but at the same time, what he's given to the organization, what he's given to that city and those fans, regardless if he up 30 or he down 30 right now, I don't think he deserved that. But I also don't think the booze is necessarily directly at Giannis. I think it's frustration with the organization and their lack of help for him and putting him in the situation where he got to be down 30. Um, so like I said, I feel for him, my understanding, but I think, something is gonna happen in Milwaukee because he not going for that. He not gonna keep feeling like that and being down by 30 and being quiet about it. So we gonna see.
Gotcha. I mean, I guess I'll keep my short and sweet. I agree with everything you just said, Ian, and I do believe that this will probably be his last season in Milwaukee, especially after that last night. You booing him while he at the free throw line, and I do agree, like Ian said, it might not all be directed at him, but at the same time, he's the one down 30. He on the team, so it is at him. You get what I'm
Yo, I'm crazy. No, I think, yeah, I'm a second. I'm a double down everything y'all said. I think the organization did him a disservice in the summertime,
saying?
but they have the opportunity to make it right before the trade deadline, which at this point is in 3 weeks. Today's what, the 15th. Um, I definitely, it's very different because he won. I think if he hadn't brought them a chip, it'd be a little different story. But it's like, come on, bro, like y'all hadn't won a ring since Kareem was in town, and that was 50 years ago. So he bought a chip. Yeah, like that's crazy. He bought a chip
Kareem
to
and the big O. You mean?
yeah, he bought a chip to the city.
With
You
no
know,
free throw line.
yeah, like he bought a chip to the city. He's done great things in the city of Milwaukee. It's time, like it gets to a point where certain players and superstars at climax where you do your job, you do deals, build a team, and then it don't work, and then y'all blow it up, and y'all start trading people, y'all start bringing new people in, and that very seldomly ends up working out for the superstar player in the team. Um, I think since the summertime, they was acting like they basically came up and said like unless y'all trying to get fleeced, don't come this way. Come on, man. Like how you carrying like that with your superstar player that has said to y'all he don't really want to be here because y'all not doing me any services. So this is for sure his last year. He'll be going by the if he's not going by the trade deadline, he'll definitely be going in the summertime. And then Giannis is a commodity. Like they can get a haul for him, and you can get a haul. And you'll get
Mm-hmm.
plenty of first round picks. You'll get players back, and just go about it the right way. Find the right suitable. Hopefully, it's not OKC, but find the right suitable trade partner that can give you
No,
the
no, for
capital
real
back.
though, cause I'm mad.
No, real,
Heavy on the not okay.
They cut
because they
y'all
have
last
the
night.
picks. They have the picks,
I don't even want to talk about it.
bro. They got the picks and the players whole time, but just do him this solid because he's brought great things to the city, dog. So I'm sorry.
Hmm. So yeah, moving on to our first game of the day, catcher pass, and the first statement for catcher pass this week: Justin Herbert is a game changer. And I'll start with my man. Hey, he looked like he ready to answer the question.
I'm passing. Uh, you got put product on the field to be considered a game changer, and this one thing that I'm not going to do is be a hypocrite, right? So I can watch football and see talent and see potential and see certain throws and
Mm,
feel away or respect that, but I feel like ultimately um, he's done not even Philip Rivers isk type of stuff. He put up good numbers, but even still, the last time he put up like darling, sparkling numbers, it was year 3. We going on year 8 now, I think. So it was like I need something beyond stats. And
mm,
it was times where you didn't have the weapons, or you didn't have the defense, or you didn't have a coach, you didn't have a system. And
mm.
all of these things contributed for sure. But you also been in situations where you could win and get out of the situation. So right now, I'm not going to label him as a game changer because that's not what he's shown himself to be, and it don't got to be no more complicated than that.
I'm
So
sorry. John is
I'm,
drawing at the
hold on,
bottom. Go ahead,
hold on.
John.
There you go. I'm gonna catch this joint.
You
He is a
catch it?
game changer.
He about to say some nut shit.
Bro, your man can change the game for both teams.
Oh my god.
No,
Now
no,
he my man. You not a fan no more.
bro. He just Justin right now, bro. I
No,
want to.
because that was, yeah, John, that
I
was your
didn't
man.
ask what he was. I said you not a fan no more.
I'm a semi fan. I'm a part time fan.
Right.
Well, no, I'm gonna say he's a game changer because I think it's Justin Herbert is this very weird case because I think game manager and game changer, you really have those deciding factors based off what you do in the playoffs. But which at this point for Justin Herbert has done nothing, but has been nothing. But when I say he's a game changer, he changed the game for who was that? I think Jacksonville or no, not Jacksonville. Herbert threw 4 picks against the Texans and they changed shit out that game and they won it. But I think the season is a great example for him because I they won 11 games, 12 games, literally off of Justin Herbert's back. Like,
Mm.
could you consider this entire season? And this been seasons before because Justin Herbert's been in the playoffs 3 times now at this point. I think he's won 10 plus games 4 or 5 times, four times in his career, give or take. And pretty much every season, he wills his team to those wins. Like, I don't think there's never really a time where you look at Justin Herbert's team, you like, okay, he has elite defense. That's why they can be winning games. I'll take Jalen Hurts for an example. Like, our defense is exceptional, and you can look at Jalen Hurts and be like, okay, this defense is the reason why you can go out there and just chill and either put your foot on the gas and win games and go to wherever you go. Justin Herbert on the other hand, I believe I can say since he's been in the league, he has never had anything elite or excellent. Whether it be weapons, besides the, no, let me say that. His weapons have been solid. Um, with weapons, offensive line, defense, etc. And this season in particular, his offensive line was so garbage because they got hurt. So, like I said, they made the playoffs in one 11, 12 games, literally on his back. So I think he has proven to be a game changer. Now, like Ian said, he hasn't been able to translate that into postseason success, which is why I think he'll have the game manager title too. But I would catch and say he's a game changer.
Got you.
Let me
Go ahead.
respond
If
to
you
that
want
real
to say
quick.
something, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like a perfect example, perfect comparison of a similar quarterback and a similar situation that didn't get to the promised land, but he proved himself to be a game changer is Andrew Luck. He came into the league with no special weapons. You can't tell me who was his running back, and his best receiver was T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton got 1,000 yards playing next to Andrew Luck, and that's not when we had 15, 16 wide receiver ones in the league with 1,000 yards a year, a season. And that was 16 game seasons as well. But Andrew Luck was coming in with the most sacks 2, 3, 4 years in a row on his Joe Burrow type tip, on his Jay Herbo type tip. And he's still winning games. He's still making throws. I'm not saying I feel like Jay Herbo is not a game changer because he's not producing wins when they matter. Not because we haven't seen him make throws that other quarterbacks can't make, or not because we haven't seen him anticipate the right time to make this throw, and he made crucial plays. Again, we see him being capable of winning games, but then it gets to again, it's not like he's losing the teams he's supposed to lose to. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's in situations where we can see, that you was back against the wall kind of thing, but it's still times where you have the power to do something different. And you're not. And this is what, year 2 for Jim Harbaugh, right? Last
Yeah,
year he was game managing for sure because he was out there and every time you look up, he got 170 passing yards, 190 because Jim Harbaugh came in and we running the ball 25 times a game. I'm giving you 12 carries, I'm giving you 13 carries, I'm giving you 8 carries. And that was the first year that we didn't see Herbo go above what, 30, 38, 39, 4,000 yards because he was back there handing the pill off and throwing the ball when it's necessary. So I think he got game changer talent. And yes, absolutely, this year with what they didn't have, he went above and beyond in terms of keeping them afloat and getting them to 11 wins. But
Mm-hmm.
11 win season and losing the first round, that's the same thing we saw before. That's Joel and BS, and I don't care to see it no more.
Got you. So for me, on the question, Justin Herbert is a game changer. I'm going to pass on this for everything that Ian just pointed out. Like, you gotta win games when they matter. Like, John, I did hear you say that he does get the 10 wins, 11 wins, etc., etc. But up until this season, he was getting them 10 wins on nobodies. He wasn't beating KC. He just got a memorable win against KC this year. He don't beat Buffalo. He don't go outdo Josh Allen. When Joe Burrow do suit up and play, he don't beat Joe Burrow. So who are these
Only
guys?
do sit up and play.
Yeah, like, who are these teams that he beating up on? And then once he get to the postseason, like, okay, looking at his games, probably his most recent loss is probably the only loss that's the probably the one that you cannot put on him the most. But out of the first two, you're up 27-0. No way in hell can you lose that game as the quarterback. That's insane.
that's
Then you
game
go
changer shit.
then you go to his second playoff game. You go up 3-0. All right, cool. Your defense gets you an interception. You're about to be up 10-0. What do? You give it right back to the other team, and then you end up throwing 4 picks in that game. That's crazy. Your defense showed up and was ready to play. Your defense played well enough to win you that game. You did not show up. And then, okay, we saw what just happened this past weekend. But so it's not like every time we get to the playoffs, it's really not. No, it is his fault. That's not game. You're not a game changer if your team is specifically losing because of you. Mm-mm. So yeah, moving on to the next statement for catcher pass. Boston's success is hurting JT stock.
No,
Pass.
sir. Not buying
Hard
it.
pass.
So
Hard pass.
y'all both passing.
Yeah.
Good, sir.
Y'all got an explanation or y'all just passing?
I say my explanation is the type of they're not the one, they're not the same team, and you can very clearly see that based off of how they look off the eye test, and then even still on paper, whether you talk about defensively and offensively. I think because Jalen Brown is picking up the slack as far as offensively, that is more so. I think that's it's double edged. It's improving his stock, but it's not hurting JT's. I think it's improving him by showing that he is capable of being an alpha, a leader, a number one option, an alpha dog. He's averaging, okay, just to say 30 for the sake of it. He's averaging 36 and 6 because JT is not there. But I think you consider the dominance and the type of team that they look like with JT, you can very clearly see that they're not the same team with him without him being out there. And then when you look at it, you see the past however many years, you looking at the East and saying, okay, we're gonna have to go see Boston. This year, nobody's saying that, and that's because JT is not playing. Although they are still staying afloat, and I don't know if they're right, like 25 and 24 and 15 or something like that. Without JT being out there, nobody in the East, right? Nobody in the East is scared to go see them in the playoffs without JT. When JT is there playing, that topic of conversation comes up. Yo, when are we gonna have to see Boston? And they probably gonna give us BTA. So
Gotcha. So
Yeah, I agree. I was about to say the same thing. Um, people was fearing Boston. Boston was in the league when OKC was OKC of right now, and there was still people saying that Boston was the best team in the league when JT was playing basketball. Um, Winning games is winning games, right? But how you win matters, and I say that all the time. It's some games where he's going out there and he's dominating as an individual, but they are not dominating as a team. And some of these games he's pulling out of pure will. But again, regular season basketball, and I'm not saying that it doesn't matter because it does, but regular season basketball looks a little different than playoff basketball. We watch Giannis dominate for 75 games in the regular season. Then again, I will never not bring this up. He lost to a 3-2 zone defense in the playoffs in 7 games. Um, so I think it matters that, you know, JB is hooping right now. And again, hopefully that's something that he can keep up and JT can flow back into the team when he does come back, potentially this season. Um, but I don't think that in any means it hurts JT stock because we saw what he brought to the team, and you can't deny what we saw, prior to him getting hurt. So I'm definitely passing. But kudos to JB though.
gotcha.
they're
So
doing it.
the crazy part is for me, for every reason that y'all just said is the reason why I'm going to catch this. So I'm looking at it from a different perspective from you guys. Obviously, we know that Boston is better with both guys on the floor, but it's two things that y'all not looking at. One, people did not think that Boston would be this good with JT not playing. That's number one. Number two, it was a foregone conclusion if it came time when they needed to get rid of one of them, JB would be the one that they was getting rid of. Everybody knew that. That was not up for debate. After the way this season has been looking, I think that's now a question, that's now a debate. When the time come and they have to get rid of one of them, which one do we want to get rid of? JB has proven that he's possibly can be looked at in the same light as JT. I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying that right now, the way that he's playing basketball. And the last point that I do want to make on this, that me and Ian, we kind of had a conversation about it, but he did point out that I don't think so either. But he also said he don't think that Boston will look this good with JT and JB not playing.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think what you just said it matters, but I think that's a great problem to have though. I think it's better to
It's
be
a
in a
great problem.
situation where it's like I don't know which one of these two I can keep or I want to keep, as opposed to saying This the one that I'm. This is who's available. You can take it or you can leave it. If we could sit back and say, all right, bro, both of y'all make too much money. We can't pay both of y'all. One of y'all getting out of here. We listen to the offers for both of y'all, and the best offer we get, somebody's getting out of here. That's okay. I still think in the next 2 to 3 years, if JT leg is healthy, he come back playing basketball like how he was before, even if the roles reverse a little bit and he now is 1B and he averaging 26 and JB gonna go average to 28 or 29, they still gonna be set up for success. And I think one thing, like you said, I do agree that I think JB right now fits this Boston team better in terms of his play style. But I think some of that is just basketball and fit. JB is getting to his mid range, he's getting downhill. JT like to shoot jump shots a little bit more. And sometimes when we saw even when JT is out there, JB will kind of sometimes kind of fold into that kind of play style of shooting jump shots. Whereas right now he killing, he by himself, he getting downhill, he going to eat, he getting to that rim. I mean, he's still playing his style of basketball, but he getting to that rim ultimately. I also think that it's important to note that the East this year, like I'm not trying to be that guy because I'm not saying the East was ever fire when Bron was there dominating 10 years straight, but the East this year is bad. Like it's bad, and on top of everybody being bad and teams about to be shaking it up and moving players because it's not working in those kind of seasons and multiple franchises, everybody is also hurt. You got key players from multiple teams, from the Magic, from the Sixers, from the Knicks. Trey missed time before they got him out of there. Like it's so many teams on the East with guys that are usually playing crucial minutes. Even the beginning of the year when the Bulls was a 1 seed for 3 weeks, and then and then Josh Giddey got crossed out his frame, and then now they got to 11, 12 seed. Like, so I'm not saying again that Boston isn't impressive because nobody, no matter how you slice it, nobody would have accounted for them being a 3 seed right now. But I think that who they playing right now versus what the East looked like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago when JT was on the court and who else was playing in the East and they still winning these games by 20, 25 during the regular season and doing the same thing going into the playoffs, I think you got to put some stock in that as well.
Gotcha. So I'm not mad at that at all. So yeah, I think we can agree to disagree on that one. I agree with everything that you're saying. Though I hear your point of view, but I do think in a way that does kind of diminish JT stock. If it was a foregone conclusion, you were the guy. But now it's a question, which one we gonna keep? But so yeah, moving on to our first topic of today, we got some more NFL for you guys. I need y'all to give me your biggest disappointment of round one.
My biggest disappointment is my team.
So
They let me. No, we're rep. I mean, I think when you look across the league, for the most part, for the most part everything was supposed to happen.
mm-hmm.
Besides us, like the Bears were supposed to beat the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
The New England was supposed to beat Herbo. Um, damn, I'm not. Everything was supposed to happen this weekend. I think us losing to the Niners was definitely the not a blind side, but it should not have happened at all. Like Brock Purdy gave us every single opportunity to win that damn game, and we tricked it off and lost. Um, I think after that, another disappointment besides us, which I think is obvious, is Herbo. It's very disappointing. You know, circumstances matter, but it's very disappointing to see him get another game. Not really put a cape on like a lot of people kind of expect him to do or want him to do. Now that he's year like 5 or 6 in the league,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that definitely was disappointing, at least for me, because that game that he played against New England, Randy was playing a better team, but it was winnable. We talked about this in the group chat. You know, the another quarterback that some people like to compare it to for whatever reason, Josh Allen played a team earlier that day, and that was much better than him. And away on the road, put his cape on, one hurt. Like he was hurt in that game. He got evaluated for
Definitely.
a concussion, and I don't know what the update is on his finger on his throwing hand, if I'm not mistaken. But he was hurt in that game, and he ended up winning by a field goal. His defense rose to the occasion, just like Justin Herbert did in that game against New England. But he came up short. So that's my two. That's my two biggest. And my biggest one is obviously the Eagles, just because I'm hurt that we at home in Cancun with everybody else right now. So
You
Got you.
go ahead, Dan.
Are you okay? So I got two as well. I guess I'll start with my own personal biggest disappointment. I think my biggest disappointment for round one was not even a team; it's a specific player, Trevor Lawrence.
Nah,
I feel
nah.
yeah, Trevor Lawrence is my biggest disappointment for round one. So he played a decent game, but you didn't win the game. And the reason why y'all lost the game was your turnovers, especially that interception at the end. Both interceptions stopped your team from getting points, but that last interception ended the game. And the fact that your defense did play well enough, they kept you in the game because to start the game off, you wasn't really able to get anything going on offense. Once your offense was able to get going, yes, Josh Allen was responding, and then you responded again. And then, okay, cool, Josh Allen go back down the field. That's Josh Allen. He's an MVP type of player. This is what you expect in the postseason. This is your coming to be moment. You got to go out there and you got to outdo the other quarterback on the end to win the game. And so you go out there with a chance to do that and you throw an interception. So now at this point, granted you do have the one playoff win, but outside of that one, well, even with that one playoff win, you've thrown the interception in every single playoff game. So now at this point, you got to turn it together. We need to see you elevate how you just did at the end of the regular season and the postseason. And so my other biggest disappointment for round one is it's a media disappointment. And what I mean by that is what the fans, what all the other analysts who they expected to win and to do something, et cetera, et cetera. Green Bay. I don't know why I heard a lot of people saying that Green Bay was going to blow out the Bears this weekend and that Green Bay is a legitimate contender in the NFC. And I actually heard the same thing last year, and I didn't bring it up last year, so I'm going to bring it up again. Chris Broussard said this foolishness last year that Green Bay was going to stump y'all in the first round, and y'all went on to win the Super Bowl. I don't know what he was watching, but does this false confidence for Green Bay come from? Does it come from them beating the Cowboys that happened 4 seasons ago? That is still Jordan Love only playoff win, and since then he's had 3 straight playoff losses. Like, what is going on? They've never been higher than a 7th seed. So where did all this confidence for Green Bay come from? I don't understand it.
Yeah, don't ask
I
me.
don't I don't understand either. Everybody love picking them though. That's for sure. And
Honestly.
Packers, they making noise. Packers, well, Packers.
yeah,
The cheese getting graded, nigga.
yeah, they still watching that Sunday night massacre they did the Dollars because everybody hate the Cowboys. They still got that on repeat. Yeah, you know Green Bay. Green Bay what? Like, what are we talking about? Go ahead, A.
Green Bay, what? I'ma just echo everything that y'all said. Obviously, my biggest personal disappointment is the Birds because we should still be in the playoffs right now. The Niners missing too many guys, too many weapons. George Kittle went down first quarter, and Brock Purdy gave the ball away, and we gave the pill right back to him. So that's my
Mm-hmm.
biggest personal disappointment. I also was disappointed in Trevor, not because I necessarily wanted him to win, but because of everything that Josh was up against. Like you said, he was hurt. He was banged up. And he had the lesser team. Not only was he banged up, but his team was banged up. He was missing a couple wide receivers. Somebody got hurt in the game, and not only like you said, you turned the ball over twice, and then the second time you did it was the first play or the second play of the last drive. Like this is supposed to be the 2 minute drill, walk them down. Like this is for all the marbles. This where where you show what you've been working for, you mean? Like, and he threw an interception, like you folded immediately. So that
Yeah,
was like, damn, bro, like you folded immediately, like bro. And I told y'all 6 weeks ago he a game tricker, and John was laughing like I made it up or I just put it up. Like, bro, he played
No, I was laughing
40
because it was the
minutes.
bid. I know
He,
that. We all
he
know that,
played
except Dan.
40
Only person that
minutes
don't believe that is
of
Dan.
solid football to trick the
Josh,
game away at the very end. Like, what did I just watch the first 40 minutes for? You was gonna
no,
trick me.
honestly though, like the build up and to end it like that,
Yeah, like,
the
yeah,
first play
bro.
of the 2 minute drill, Trevor, you know better. What is going on?
And I'm watching it like I'm okay with this. If Trevor win this game like this, because I would prefer to see Josh go get a ring than Trevor. But again, I just look at his team like they not supposed to win. So if he lose this game, but he played the way that he played, almost willing them to a W, I'm okay with that. He did
Exactly.
will him to a W. There is no almost. So shout out to Josh, but that wasn't supposed to happen. And then,
Yeah.
like you said, I don't really care about the Packers, but I did see a lot of people picking them. And not only, beyond that, it was like y'all was up 21. Like the way that the
23.
game went, whether y'all was supposed to be in that position or not, y'all ended up there. Jordan Love didn't turn the pill over, which we always expect of Jordan Love, especially come moments that matter. He threw the ball for 300 yards, and y'all don't even have to be elite defensively. Y'all just got to be able to do something in terms of situational football to not
Exactly.
lose this game. And what y'all did was give up touchdowns, give up 2-point conversions, give the ball back. Like y'all just did everything that y'all could do to get in Cancun, and that was crazy. So they got to get mentioned. And yeah, I'm liking that. And then Herbo too. I'm disappointed in Herbo, but I'm not gonna be the dead horse. I
Yeah,
said what I
we
have.
yeah we already ran down on Herbo today. I'm sure it'll be more to talk about next week, not next week because he home
Next
next.
season,
Yeah, I apologize, Herbo. Enjoy your vacation.
I'm
So
crying.
moving on to our last
You gonna
topic.
tell that nigga enjoy his vacation?
Yeah. Moving on to our last topic of today, we got our round two NFL playoff rundown. Hold on, let me pull it up for y'all guys so we can get the picks rolling, and y'all can also see how we did last week as well. And it don't matter whichever one of y'all want to start.
I'll
Damn, I'm
start.
3-3.
Oh,
Dying.
you said what?
I said dying. I'm 3-3. Dying.
Yeah, I'll start. I'll go with the AFC. Only reason why I'm picking the Broncos is because Josh is hurt, and I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he'll be able to will his team to a victory today. But if Josh was healthy, I would pick the Bills. So I'm going with the Broncos. And then on
Mm-hmm.
the opposite side, this was the hardest pick. This was the hardest pick for me. Because y'all know how I feel about Drake, but that defense
Drake
looked.
about to get cooked.
Who?
Drake.
You tripping? Nigga.
Defense,
I'm picking Drake. You tripping?
defense.
I'm going Broncos, and I'm going to Patriots. The good old classic running back. And then on the opposite side, the Seahawks. That's easy. Like they'll put beats. Well, they didn't give them belt last time they played, but they won last time they played. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, and then I'm gonna pick the Rams. So I got Broncos, Pats, Seahawks, and then the Rams.
Hold on. So real quick, John, before you finish, I do want to
Uh-huh.
just this. I don't know if you saw. Did y'all know that Sam Darnold has an oblique injury? He's now on the injury report. He's not fully healthy.
No, I didn't. I missed that. Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it just came out yesterday. I want to say around like 2-3 p.m. yesterday. Sam Darnold, he's not fully healthy.
What's
So
wrong?
His oblique.
Uh,
yeah,
Yeah, that might change my. Am I
yeah,
gonna change
that's
it?
yeah. Did you want to change your? I mean, you want Seattle?
I'll still take Seattle though. Ah, my God. Am I? Know what? I'm gonna go with the Niners. Actually, no, no, no.
he picked his guys. He said, "Give me Drake and give me Brock." And
Yeah,
look,
Uh,
I'm gonna go with the
betting your
Niners.
guys.
I'm gonna go with the Niners.
Yeah, they're both gonna lose. So I'm I'm locking in. I'm gonna start where you left off, kinda low key. I'm picking the Seahawks. I still think that they defense is legit enough
mhm,
um, to do what we did last week, essentially.
mhm,
And I think that they have weapons on their offense. I think they're just a better coach team than what we were this year. So some of the mistakes and the points that we left on the board, they won't. Even though this, 49ers willed themselves, to stops and stuff defensively last week. I just don't think that this is a division game, coming playoffs that they gonna win. I'm not explaining why I'm picking the Rams. I just don't think the Bears are ready yet. Uh, I think the Texans are about to not expose. I think they're gonna go have a field day against Drake. Though I think Drake had a great season. Shout out to him. I think he's a aspiring great quarterback. He on the way on the rise for sure. But I think that when people are saying that this Texans defense is generational, I think you should believe them.
mhm.
Um, CJ played horrible last week, like horrible with a capital H. He might have played worse than Brock Purdy last week.
No way he should have won that game.
Yeah, like no way at all. And it was like he still made some throws that mattered. But all he had to do was make three or four of them. The defense scored 2 touchdowns by themselves. And they was in the fourth quarter. All he had to do was stick around and hold the ball for some time, get a
Mm,
defensive break for a little bit, give him a breather. And they said, "All right, we got you, bro. You can't score. We got it." So, I think the Patriots defense is okay, but I think the Texans got a little bit more on the offensive side to contribute or to offer than the Chargers do. I do
mhm,
think that it's important to see if Nico cleared the concussion protocol because he did fall on his face last week, and he got right out the game. Um,
Nice.
but I've seen CJ produce without Nico on the field before. I think that he's going to play better this week than he did last week. Um, and that's a recipe for the Texans to get to the AFC Championship. And then surprisingly, even though I was preaching all year that the Broncos is one of the best teams in the NFL, um, I don't really care what's wrong with Josh. He about to get him a home shot, and he gonna go play football. I seen enough last week. I don't think that the Broncos in the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season have been significantly better than the Jaguars. When I look at the Broncos defense and the Jaguar defense, I think they got some of the like same playmakers or some similar playmakers. I think a major difference is PS2. Um, and that's one guy, but he gonna take away a guy that Josh probably not throwing the ball to anyway. And I think that Josh should be able to figure it out. I think he gonna will himself to a win. So I'm gonna pick the Bills in that game. So I'll go Bills, Texans, Seahawks, and the Rams.
The main,
Got you.
real
So,
quick, before you go there, the main reason too why I picked the Broncos, it is like that he hurt, but I think they definitely getting that spin back for last season because y'all remember Josh put belt to their ass last year in the
hmm
first round of the playoffs. I believe it's the first
Yep.
round.
Yep.
They won by like 25, something like that. So I think they definitely come for that get back at home.
Gotcha. So for me, I'm gonna start right there. Actually, that's the main reason why I'm gonna go ahead and take Buffalo. So I do think I don't care that Josh Allen is hurt. I do think that he's gonna go right back to Denver and get him the same thing that he did last year. Although last year it don't matter. It's still that same defense. That they defense might have actually been better last year, statistically, than they are this year. Even though they might have bigger names this year, and they offense didn't get any better. They just the players got quote unquote better. But Josh Allen right now, the way he looked last week, if that's how he's going to play every single playoff game, he's going to be able to put up points against Denver. And then Denver, although they've been dominant this season, we have not seen them in a back and forth game all year. Most of their wins come from them either coming from behind
Yeah,
and
in a
they
long run.
they defense is holding the offense still and they scoring a whole bunch of points, or they get up early and blow somebody out. They not going touchdown for touchdown, field goal for field goal with somebody, and that's most likely what you're going to have to do with Josh Allen. So I got Buffalo. You already know how I feel about the Texans and that defense. I got the Texans. Although I do like the Patriots this year, I'm kind of upset that this was the matchup. I did want Drake May.
I'm not.
I did want Drake May to get to a conference chip game, but he gonna have to wait another year, possibly a few years.
Yeah,
Yo,
CJ turn. He
Ian,
waited his turn. It's CJ turn.
bro, this
Here
nigga Ian, the biggest Drake hater in the world, yo. I swear to God,
Game manager. What are you talking about? Shout out
I
my
swear to
nigga
God,
King.
we
yo.
got the
Big
Texans
Nate is a
in that
game
matchup.
manager.
And then moving over to the NFC with the 49ers in Seattle, I got the 49ers coming out that matchup. And then with the Rams in Chicago, although I've been back in Chicago to win that division and I had them winning last week, I'm not picking against Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua in the playoffs. So I got the Rams winning that matchup as well. So I got Bills, Texans, 49ers, Rams.
Yes, sir. We gonna see.
hmm So that's enough football for today. I think we got some more basketball.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is.
hmm
But if you forgot, it's time for our game of the day today. We got a 7 p.m. game. We got Cavs and the Biddy
They won 1 and 2.
against the Sixers. Huh? Yeah, you
They won one
suck.
and two.
Yeah, you suck. But yeah, the Cavs coming to Philly tonight to play the Sixers. Fellas, I'm pretty sure everybody is playing. I can double check. Joel might be out because he played a couple days ago when they played, and y'all
Normal
know
though.
he get with back to backs. But outside of that, everybody is playing. So let me know what y'all got for our game of the day this week.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start first on this one. So I usually don't like to pick against the city, but I'm not blind. I don't care whether Joel is out there or not. I do think it'll be a difference come postseason. But for some reason, Philly, we only get up for certain teams, and it just seemed like they let the Cavs walk all over them every time they meet the Cavs in the regular season. Cavs just blew them out. I think it was what 2 nights ago, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the Cavs again. I
Me,
think they pull up the sweep.
me personally, I don't go with the home team too often, but I'm gonna go with the Sixers. I think, um, I think that based on what Dan just said, like you got to get back. Like tonight at home at 7 o'clock, it's gonna be a good game, and I think Tyrese will go crazy tonight too. So I'm gonna go with the home team.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna side with John on this one for the same reason that he said. Less about the get back, more so about how they played the first game. Maxi and VJ couldn't put the ball in the basket the first time we played. So you out there with Donovan Mitchell long enough. He do be giving us gas. I will not lie. The first time we played him, he gave us like 45, and I was watching it, and it was nasty work. But but but
He got
VJ and Maxi,
right.
yeah, bro, he was drawn. But they couldn't put the ball in the basket last game, and I don't think that um that's a matter of Cleveland having elite perimeter defenders. That's just we can't buy a bucket. I think that'll be different today. I think Maxi about to go off, like he said. I think VJ will have a better game. I'm okay if Joel sits. I don't think we need Joel this game. And I think that, as long as we got production from Maxi and we don't get in a game where we down 12, 14, 15 points, I expect us to turn it around, get a dub, get back in the win column today. So I'm picking Sixers.
Got you. So I mean, I'm not mad at y'all picks, but if I was y'all watching at home, I'd go ahead and lock D Mitchin for 30 tonight. Go ahead and lock in Evan Mobley for 15 and 15.
Go for it.
So no, it should be a good game tonight, definitely. But if we don't have anything else, we can leave it there. Make sure y'all go check us out on Instagram at Everything X Goals. Make sure y'all watch the story. We got another parlay coming for you guys for round two of the NFL playoffs. Y'all know we hit last week. We hit some solo picks last week as well. We had some people DM us. We hit on those plays as well. It was a nice,
Yes,
solid
sir.
last week. You mean we was bringing money in, and we're gonna do the same thing this week. Make sure y'all
It,
check us out. Hold on.
it was a great weekend of free money. Not even gonna lie.
It was. Oh yeah, it was a comment we missed it unfortunately, but I'll make sure I'll be on it next time. But we'll catch y'all in the next one.
Shout out to the guys.
Mm-hmm.